Kiss 102.3.
Ron MacLean, hometown hockey back in Manitoba. Now, Mr. MacLean, I had interviewed you a couple of years ago, and I asked you the question, out of all the NHL rinks, you've been to them all, who had the best pizza? You said Joe Louis Arena and the original Little Caesars.
Right, Leslie, who would always bring us slices of pizza.
I neglected to ask you, and it's been bothering me since that interview, what do you like on your pizza?
Well, the one we would get at Joe Louis was just a plain pepperoni, and that sort of hit the spot because it wasn't too complicated. If I'm to order, usually it's going to be a margarita. I like a really basic, it's like with broths. I don't like thick, clam chowder. I like a milkier broth. So the leaner or the cleaner the pizza, for me, that's a favorite. I'm not a meat lovers guy.
And what about Grapes? Do you know what Grapes loves on his pizza?
Grapes doesn't eat much. He's a very basic human being, and he likes club sandwiches, and that's about it. But he will, if in a pinch, have a slice, and I think he'd be a pepperoni and cheese guy, too.
All right, Ron MacLean with this. Now, can you give us right off the bat, you have so many amazing memories and stories. Can you give us one of your greatest Winnipeg Jets memories from back in the day?
Oh, I would have to go back to 1990 because Dave Ellett's on the broadcast, so he will be with us in Steinbach this weekend. And Dave scored a double overtime goal that put Winnipeg up 3-1 in their series with the Edmonton Oilers, and we thought the Jets were going to finally vanquish Goliath. And then, unfortunately, it went to a seventh and deciding game. But I remember going in for Game 6 at Winnipeg, and Don Cherry and I were just blown away by the lineup outside and went all the way to Polo Park, and everybody wanted a ticket for that game, and they were lined up come 3 o'clock in the afternoon for miles, and we went in and started the telecast, and Don said on the air, he says, I just love this, these people in Winnipeg, look at them, God love them, all wearing white, and it's the loudest arena in Canada, bar none. And I look down the end of the arena here, and I see the picture of Queen Elizabeth, makes my heart sing. We don't have enough pride in Queen Elizabeth anymore. Mind you, MacLean here says her crown looks like Peter Klima's helmet. Peter was a Czech hockey player who wore a big Jofa helmet, and that caused a lot of grief. Monarchists all over Canada were mad at me for Don's opening, so that's probably my favorite.
And now you've been across this country so many times. Do you believe that Portage in Maine is the windiest corner in Canada?
Oh, boy, I don't know about that. Brandon, we got winded out. We had this year at both Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, and at Cape Breton in Glace Bay, we had to cancel the festival due to high winds. So there's no doubt that the intersection, because of the skyscrapers, gets a good breeze. But I don't think she's anywhere close to Brandon, Glace Bay, or Mount Pearl, Newfoundland, if that makes everyone feel better.
Ron MacLean checking in with us today. Now, again, you're a man that's traveled the country, traveled the world. You've probably been in pretty much every airport in Canada, so I have to ask you, if you had to be delayed for 8 hours in any airport, what airport are you picking? And you can't say Winnipeg because you're on a Winnipeg station.
I would go Frankfurt. It's a hectic airport. It's kind of like Chicago's O'Hare, a real nuisance. But it also has the best beer. If I was going to be stuck, you have German beer is made without preservatives, and it's you never feel like you're a little rough the morning after. So I would want to be in Frankfurt.
And what team would you want to travel with?
What team? Like NHL team?
Yeah, like past or present. Is there a certain squad that you would have loved to travel?
My Calgary Flames in 1984 through 85 season. The 2 years that I worked there, Lanny McDonald was a captain, Doug Risebrough, Jim Poplinski. They had 11 college free agents on that team. So they were really a fascinating mix of people pursuing careers in addition to their hockey, and that made them really great interviews, really thinking hockey players. And there's lots of them now, but that was a magical time. Badger Bob Johnson was the coach, and honestly, every interview I ever conducted had nothing to do with me. It had to do with a 23-man roster of, I'd put them close to genius.
Ron MacLean with us. I have to ask, we're going to get serious here. This could be the year for the Winnipeg Jets, right?
Totally could. Just love that organization. I've been saying a lot, Kenny, when asked about hometown hockey and what makes hockey special. The Humboldt Broncos, kind of for all the tragedy and grief. Matthew Gmersic, ironically, is a Steinbach Piston and was the first Bronco released, blessedly, after the crash. But that organization, top to bottom, was special, and it taught us why the game is magical. And the closest thing I can equate to the Humboldt Broncos is Mark Chipman, Paul Maurice, Blake Wheeler. It's an incredible organization. Kevin Cheveldayoff. They just really make you proud of the game and what it can be. So, for if there's justice, it would be. And you know how last year Barry Trotz, good Dauphin, Manitoba guy, led Washington and OV to the Cup. I think if the hockey gods are thinking clearly, they'll be on the Jet side come spring.
Kiss 102.3.